This is I started fore again. We had to switch because I got I had to put another card in there, memory card in there because the memory is full. Okay, but this First Corinthians 10 and 4, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was a Mashiach, okay, which means anointed, but it's Christ there, okay, and we know that's a name, a title for who the world enemy called Jesus, which is the Savior of Israel, but his name is YAHAWASHI, right? Verse 5, but with many of them the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Verse 6, now these things were our example, to the intent we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Okay, they was overthrown in the wilderness, right? And it was example. When you read the history, when you read the book of Numbers, okay? Verse 7, neither, and Exodus, neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Verse 8, there's an idol worship. Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed and fell in one day 23,000. Verse 9, neither let us tempt a Mashiach, as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents. Right? Verse 10, neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, right? They were rebellious, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Verse 11, now all these things happened unto them for example, and they were written for our admonition, meaning the stiff warning, upon whom the end of the world are come. Right? So that's a warning, man, that when Israel was delivered up out of Egypt, and YAHAWASHI got down and put some of them to death by the order of Yahweh. So was YAHAWASHI back then during the time of that was coming up out of Egypt? Yeah, because he the one that passed over during the Passover, and he was the one that was in between Egypt, the Egyptians, and Israel when they was crossing the Red Sea. The Gulf of Akbar, aka the Red Sea, right? And he was a destroyer that put Israel to death, man. Okay, and he was the serpent who was raised up in the book of Numbers. Okay, when that all them sins, who all looked at it, went up on it. He was that serpent back then. Okay. Same way YAHAWASHI had to be raised up. When you read Acts 5 and 30, the same thing that happened to that serpent. That all who looked upon it, their sins were taken away. And that was during the time of in the book of Numbers. I want to say Numbers, if I'm mistaken. Let me see if I can find it. Real quick, I just quote where it's at. I ain't gonna go to it. That was in the book of Numbers, I think it's 5, or it might be. Yeah, number 21 and 5, that's where it says, up in that area. They were being rebellious and wanting to go back to Egypt, and rebellion and talking noise against the Most High, right? So, that's the example of our angels get down and how YAHAWASHI get down, right? They paint YAHAWASHI as as if he won't put you to death, but he will. In this world, they paint that they portray his characteristics as if he won't put you to death. He just love, love, love. He got one emotion, and we, as a people, got more emotion than him. Okay? That don't make sense. Okay? He is love, but he loved the one who follow him and do the will of the Heavenly Father. Okay? Okay? And love is keeping the commandments. So he is about love, but he got other characteristics about him. Okay? If you don't believe it, read Isaiah the 9th chapter, and it tell you the different characteristics of through the word entering called Jesus. Okay? Now this chronicle, now I was explaining that because of the proof that was YAHAWASHI when we was reading about in that chariot, when we was reading about in the book of Exodus. Right? This chronicles, which means timeline, and I want to say Ezra's was chronicle. So that's what I want to say. I'm gonna go over there and look. Yeah, Ezra's had a hand in who they dedicated? Yeah, Ezra. Yeah. They said some scholars now consider Ezra one of the authors for the book. Yeah, Ezra was the author of this book, right? And scholar. And when you look up the word scholar, which I mentioned it on the highways and byways when this when that scatterbrain was down here, we was dealing with Kemet, right? And the word scholar, when you look it up, when you go into the etymology, the word scholar means student. When you go into the etymology of online etymology, but when you go into the Hebrew, which I would embrace English, or I would embrace Hebrew before I embrace English and Latin. Okay, if I can find a word in Hebrew, I will embrace that first. Okay, before I embrace English or Latin. Okay, but when you look it up, scholar, it means student in English and in Latin. I want to say, if I ain't mistaken, you probably can look it up. But in the Hebrew, is how you say it is Talmud. Okay. Some people say Talmud, but it's Talmud. How you say it in Hebrew, the word scholar, and it means learn or teach. And somebody that's or instructor, that's what they do. They learn and they teach. So that's why I would say that's what the word scholars mean, rather than saying it just means student. The Hebrew word is Talmud, and it means teacher, teach or learn. You look it up; it's in the scriptures. Okay. But yeah, Ezra's scholars say Ezra's had a hand in this, writing Chronicles. Okay. This is and it means timeline. This first Chronicles 21 and